It's finally happening. We're approaching one of the most emotionally charged and spiritually important days of the year, August 21th. This day isn't just any Thursday on the calendar. It's a divine checkpoint, a moment when the heavens are watching closely, and every word you say, every reaction you have, and every shift in your energy carries deep spiritual significance. Whether you realize it or not, you're being positioned for something bigger. And as always, the biggest challenge won't come from obvious enemies. Instead, it will come from the people closest to your heart, those you love and trust, like a partner, parent, or close friend. On this day, they might become the way your deepest emotional triggers get stirred up. Not to break you, but to reveal where healing is still needed. August 21th isn't about conflict. It's about divine correction. That's why, if you consider yourself one of the chosen, you must avoid arguing. Even if you're misunderstood, even if others push your buttons or challenge your truth, the real test isn't about proving who's right. It's about staying true to your alignment. The moment you defend your ego, you risk blocking your spiritual growth. This test isn't meant to harm you. It's designed to help you rise. If you've been feeling tension building, if conversations have been heavier, or if people have been showing sides of themselves you didn't expect, no, this isn't random. The veil between worlds is thin right now. This is your chance to pass the test, not with words, but with wisdom. And I'll explain exactly how to do that and what signs to watch for in a moment. But before that, if this message already speaks to you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe for more spiritual insight, and comment 777 to activate protection and alignment for what's coming. Now let's dig deeper. August 21th won't come with a warning or a flashing sign. The test will be subtle, even familiar. That's why it's tricky. The closer someone is to you, the less you'll see it coming. A simple comment, a tone of voice, a reaction, that's all it takes. Suddenly, your spirit feels shaken, your emotions rise, and your peace starts to slip. That's your signal. The test is here. It's not just about what's said to you. It's about what's stirred inside you. The enemy doesn't need to destroy you, just distract you. They don't have to bring chaos into your life. All they have to do is tempt you into creating it yourself with your own words. That's why you must be mindful of what you say on August 21th. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every comment deserves a response. And not every emotional impulse needs to be followed. You're not called to prove your point. You're called to protect your purpose. Think about it. The biggest changes in your life didn't come through loud or dramatic moments. They came from quiet choices, moments when you chose to walk away instead of react, when you picked peace over pride. August 21th is one of those moments. It's not about being passive. It's about being powerful enough to practice restraint. That's spiritual maturity. That's divine alignment. Here's something most people don't realize. When God allows someone close to you to push your buttons, it's not punishment. It's trust. He trusts that you've grown enough to respond differently than you would have before. He's not just testing your emotions. He's revealing your evolution. He's letting you feel how much you've changed. But to see that, you have to pass this test quietly. This test isn't about them. It's about you. Your reaction shows what still need healing. Your silence shows what you've mastered. Let me ask you this. What if this entire experience is actually setting you up for your next breakthrough? What if this moment, this conversation, is the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming? Would you still argue or try to win? Or would you finally understand that silence is the real victory? Don't let a momentary offense steal your eternal progress. Don't let ego win when your spirit is ready to evolve. Not everyone deserves access to that energy. Your energy matters, especially on a day like August 21th, a day chosen by heaven to mark the start of something new. When the moment comes, and it will, pause and take a breath. Tune into your higher self and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? And what is God trying to teach me right now? Because I promise, there's a message hidden in every moment, a purpose behind the pressure. Maybe what they say isn't meant to hurt, or maybe it is. Either way, you're not responsible for their behavior, but you are responsible for how you respond. You decide what to hold on to and what to finally let go of. Maybe August 21st is the day you release the need to be understood, the day you stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to grasp your journey anyway. Maybe it's the day you rise above emotional chaos and step into the next chapter with peace as your shield. Remember, how you react sends a powerful message. Let it say, I'm ready for more. Let it say, I trust God more than my emotions. Let it say, I'm not who I used to be. Because when you pass this test, something shifts. Heaven takes notice, the spiritual realm recognizes your readiness, and what was once delayed will start to flow. Why? Because God trusts you with what comes next. And trust is shown through intention, not comfort. So let them talk, let them twist things, let them test you. But don't let them throw you off your path. This is why arguing on August 21th won't help. This is why silence becomes sacred. This is why peace is your promotion. And the closer someone is to you, the more important it is to pause before you respond. You've come too far to go back now. So breathe, stand firm, and let heaven work in its perfect way. If you've been wondering why August 21st feels heavier, more emotionally intense than usual, it's not your imagination. It's written in the stars. We're heading into a powerful energetic shift. The days leading up to August 21st are filled with cosmic tension-stirring emotions, especially in our closest relationships. Venus is retrograde, the planet of love, value, and connection moving backward, not to punish us, but to reveal cracks in what we thought was stable. This retrograde pulls hidden truths to the surface, and when love is tested, so is your sense of self. But that's not all. Around August 21st, the moon moves into a position that makes emotions magnetic, sensitivity sharp, and intuition loud, while clarity only comes to the quiet mind. If you're not grounded, you might mistake a trigger for truth, believing your feelings are facts. But those who are spiritually aware will pause, observe, and align before acting. There's more. Mars, the planet of drive and conflict, is closely interacting with Mercury, the planet of communication. This is a volatile mix, meaning small misunderstandings can spark arguments, words will cut deeper, and tone will matter more than what's actually said. Everything will feel personal, even when it isn't. That's why what you experience will feel emotional, but it's really energetic. What you feel isn't just about what's being said. It's about what's being activated inside of you. Old wounds, past betrayals, unfinished healing. These cosmic shifts don't just happen in the sky. They show up in us. If you're not paying attention, you might think you're just having a rough day. But if you are aware, you'll recognize this as spiritual strategy unfolding in perfect timing. That's why the person closest to you might say something that feels like a cut. That's why your body tightens before words are even spoken. You're not imagining it. You're feeling ripples of energy that began long before you even woke up. You're not just having a conversation, you're stepping into a portal. August 21st opens that doorway. How you walk through it will decide whether you repeat old patterns or step into new growth. So the argument you feel tempted to have, it's no accident. The urge to correct someone, it's not coincidence. Those sudden waves of emotion, the tears that come out of nowhere, or the anger that feels bigger than the situation, it's all the astrology doing its work. It's revealing what still needs your attention. It's showing you who is truly aligned with your path and who no longer is. It's reminding you that you can't carry the same old reactions into a new chapter of your life. That's why the spiritual and cosmic energy around August 21st sends one clear message. Don't react, transform. Don't meet their energy with the same fire. Master your own energy instead. Don't fight fire with fire. Be like water, flowing calmly and with purpose. This cosmic pressure isn't here to break you. It's here to bless you, but only if you move through it consciously. If you've been feeling off, overwhelmed, or unsure of who to trust, that's because the sky is stirring up things you thought were buried, not to haunt you, but to heal you. So what do you do when everything feels heavy, your heart feels tender, and the person across from you seems more like a test than a connection? You don't react. You rise. You rise into awareness, emotional mastery, and a stillness that speaks louder than any argument ever could. On August 21st, stillness is not silence. It's spiritual alignment. It's the choice to feel without feeding the fire, to observe without absorbing, and to trust that just because an old wound reopens doesn't mean you're breaking down. It means you're being rebuilt. This is what Venus retrograde asks of you, to reevaluate, reassess, and realign. Who do you give your energy to? Who do you open your heart to? Who is allowed into your inner world? And most importantly, what version of yourself shows up when your heart feels threatened? You might think this is about that one person who said too much or too little, but it's really about you, your center, your self-worth, your inner compass. The truth is, the cosmos is whispering that not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next season. Not every bond can stretch to match the soul that's growing. So if it feels like people are pulling away, If you feel misunderstood or distant from those who once knew you inside and out, don't panic. You're not being punished, you're being purified. You're not falling apart, you're being refined. The astrology of August 21th cracks open the old foundation, but also creates space for new light to shine in. That's why tension appears in your closest circle, because the divine wants you to look there, listen carefully, learn, and feel what's still holding on even though it no longer serves you. But don't mistake this for a call to cut people off recklessly. This isn't about ego. It's about energetic clarity. It's about not trying to convince someone to understand a version of you they've never met. That version was born in the silence you chose the last time you didn't argue. This is how the cosmos works. First, it tests your boundaries. Then it shows you who respects them. Finally, it asks you to choose between comfort and calling. And on August 21th, you'll feel that choice deep in your bones. You'll feel it when someone's words cut too deep, when your nervous system tightens before your mind even processes what's happening, when your hands want to respond but your spirit says, wait, listen. That's not fear, that's wisdom. That's alignment. That's what gets heaven's attention. While everyone else loses themselves in emotional chaos, you'll hold space for grace. While the world reacts, you'll reset. That quiet strength, that spiritual stillness, that's what opens doors no argument ever could. And here's the part people don't tell you. When you pass this kind of test, the silent, internal, invisible kind, the universe responds right away. It's not loud or dramatic, but it's real. The moment you choose peace over pride, clarity over chaos, alignment over argument, you shift timelines. This isn't just spiritual poetry. It's energy in motion. It's divine law responding to your frequency. Choosing not to get caught up in the emotional chaos stirred by cosmic forces isn't about avoiding problems. It's about speaking your truth fluently and confidently. When you decide not to engage in the battle, you're doing more than dodging drama. You're telling the universe, I'm ready. I'm steady. I'm no longer controlled by old wounds. I can be trusted with higher purposes. And that's when everything shifts. That's when doors open more easily, when answers you've been asking for start to come your way, when signs and sudden clarity show up, and the heaviness lifts. Even if nothing around you seems to change, you have changed. But if you fall into the trap, if you argue, react, or spiral, it's not punishment. It's a delay. You stay stuck in the same lesson, retaking the same test, wondering why blessings seem stuck in traffic. The truth is they're not stuck, they're waiting for the version of you who's ready to receive them. August 21th isn't about avoiding conflict just to be passive. It's about stepping up your spiritual power. It's about becoming someone who doesn't need to fight every battle, because they already know they're winning the war through presence, peace, and clear perception. Now here's where the astrology plays its part. Venus retrograde isn't here to destroy love. It's here to redefine it. Mars and Mercury aren't trying to make you explode. They're showing you where your reactions still control you. And the full moon energy during this time doesn't rise to tear you down, but to reveal what's been hiding in your emotional basement. So if old feelings resurface suddenly, if someone says something that shouldn't hurt but does, if a pattern you thought was healed triggers you, that's not failure. That's divine revelation. It's God pointing out the next part of you that needs attention. Healing doesn't come from pushing things down. It comes through noticing, breathing, pausing, and consciously choosing not to be who you were trained to be in chaos. August 21st is like a spiritual scan. The universe holds up a mirror, not to shame you, but to set you free. But here's the key, freedom isn't handed to you. It's earned, not through force, but through awareness. Through the maturity to feel it all and still choose peace. Through the wisdom to say, not this time. I've been here before, and I know what it costs. At this point in your journey, you're not just guarding your energy, you're protecting your destiny. The blessings forming now aren't superficial, they're sacred and built on peace. And peace doesn't mix with unnecessary conflict, so when a moment comes, and it might be subtle or sudden or disguised as something innocent, remember who you are now. You're not the person you were 6 months ago. You're not the one who used to over-explain, overreact, or overgive just to be seen or heard or understood. You're clear, aligned, chosen. And chosen ones don't respond from their wounds. They respond from the wisdom those wounds gave them. This is your new standard. Not everyone gets access. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not every comment deserves your response. Not every fight is yours to fight. And those meant to be in your life will feel the shift and meet you on that new frequency. The ones who aren't will resist, pull, and try to drag you back to the old story. Let them. You don't owe anyone the old version of yourself just because they're still comfortable with IT. So how do you protect yourself during these intense energies? You don't need anything complicated or mystical. You don't need sage, crystals, or long prayers unless your soul calls you there. What you need is intention and stillness. When the spiritual atmosphere feels heavy, the most powerful thing you can do is move intentionally through it. On the morning of August 21th, before you check your phone or respond to anyone, take 5 minutes for yourself. Breathe, feel your body, and ask, what does my spirit need to feel safe today? Then set a boundary gently and clearly. Out loud to yourself, today I choose peace instead of pride. I won't let the chaos around me shake the calm inside. My goal isn't to win arguments, but to protect my alignment with what feels true and right. You might be surprised how powerful a simple sentence can be when spoken with full awareness. Next, try to become more of an observer in your own life. Don't go looking for conflict, but stay aware. Notice how you feel around certain people and pay attention to your body's reactions even before you start speaking. Your body always gives you clues first: a tight chest, tense shoulders, or a flutter in your stomach. That's your soul warning you to be cautious. When a tough moment comes, difficult comment, a silent pause, or a confrontation, choose not to jump in or respond with the same energy. Instead, transform that energy. This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings. It means you raise them up through deep breaths, prayer, stepping away, or simply letting your peace speak for you. Not every storm needs to be faced head-on. Sometimes the wisest move is to stay still and let it pass. You can also help ground yourself physically on August 21st. Drink plenty of water, eat nourishing foods if you can, and connect with nature. Even just 5 minutes barefoot on the earth can calm your nervous system and remind you that you're safe. Remember, you're not under attack. You're being tested, and tests always pass. If you like journaling, write down what's stirring inside you, especially if it feels hard to put into words. Not every feeling needs to be shared out loud. Sometimes letting your emotions flow onto paper is enough to release them. Clarity often comes after the mind's storm settles. Here's something many overlook. Keeping energetic discipline attracts divine movement. When you show the universe you can hold your center even when everything around you is chaotic, it's like saying, I'm ready. Ready for more. Ready for better. Ready for what you've quietly prayed for. The ones who level up aren't those who argue the loudest, but those who stayed grounded when everything screamed to lose control. If you're worried about messing up, what if you do react or fail this test? Know this, even noticing it afterward is growth. Catching yourself in the moment and choosing to pause is a win. Apologizing, resetting, and trying again next time is progress. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be present. Maybe that's the real invitation of August 21st. Not perfection, but enough presence to respond differently than before. Because when you act like you did in the past, you stay stuck in the old timeline. But when you pause, breathe, and remember who you truly are beyond your past self, you shift, break old patterns, and evolve in real time. That's the true miracle. Not becoming someone new, but rediscovering who you always were beneath the fear, defense, ego, and old stories. You were never here just to win arguments. You're here to embody divine alignment, to guard your frequency like it's sacred, because it truly is. To let peace speak louder than your pain, and to tell the heavens, I'm ready. This is the path of awakening. It's not the easiest way, but it leads to true freedom, not freedom from others, but freedom from the old you. The you who had to shout to be heard, who chased approval to feel worthy, who mistook closure, attention, and validation for love. Now you move differently. There's a calm deep inside you that wasn't there before. A stillness in your reactions, a sacred pause in your spirit whispering, not this time. I've outgrown this cycle. This is spiritual mastery. It doesn't come from books or titles or teachings, but from doing the hard work in the quiet moments, from standing face to face with triggers and choosing peace anyway. From letting go, not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to rise above. You're not holding on because you're weak, but because you know letting go costs too much. August 21st isn't just a day. It's a doorway, a portal, a checkpoint in divine timing. You don't need to announce it or convince anyone. You just need to walk through it as the version of yourself who finally trusts the process enough to let go of the performance. You've done the work. You healed those deep layers, cried through nights no one saw, forgiven those who never apologized, and risen from things that should have broken you. Now this is your moment to show it, not by fighting or reacting, but by embodying your evolution. When the person closest to you says something that stings, when old patterns rise up, and your body starts to tremble or your chest tightens. Pause. Breathe. Remember the bigger picture. This isn't about them. It's about your legacy. The version of you that reacts isn't the one God wants to raise up. It's the version that responds with intention, the one that holds weight in heaven, the one entrusted with things others only dream about. You might not see it now, but your discipline right now is creating ripples across timelines. You're not just passing a test, you're rewriting karma, ending generational cycles, and choosing to carry a new frequency. One that doesn't need to scream to be noticed because it already knows it's been chosen. Chosen ones don't chase what's theirs. They attract it by staying aligned with the divine. That's why these old energies are surfacing now, not to punish, but to make sure you don't carry them forward. August 21th clears the path, but you have to walk it consciously. So when someone pushes your buttons, when familiar voices bring old wounds, remember this: your power isn't in how loudly you speak, but in how clearly you see. When you see through the moment, take the higher road, and protect your peace, that's when the real shift starts. You won't have to announce it. The universe will know. Heaven will take note. The energy waiting on the other side, the people, opportunities, alignments, and clarity will move toward you faster than you can imagine. That's because energy flows at the speed of decision, and August 21th is your moment to decide. Others might not notice. They'll go about their day as usual, but you'll feel it, not in the sky, but in the silence between words, in the shift in someone's tone, in the way your heart senses things your mind can't explain. You'll feel it in the eyes of someone close, caught between love and judgment. You'll feel it when something small suddenly stings, and your nervous system quietly warns you, this isn't just about now. It's older than this moment. That's the test. August 21st carries a thin spiritual veil, a slight rip in time's normal rhythm. The sky won't shout, but your soul will know. You'll feel the weight in your chest even before words leave someone's mouth. That's how you know it's been sent, not by them, but through them. The closest people are always the vessels, not because they're bad or mean, but because they're trusted by you and by spirit to deliver this lesson. Here's what you must remember. The real test isn't what they say. It's how still you can stay when something ancient inside you screams to react. Your old self will want to jump up, defend, explain, fix, plead, or perform. But the part of you that has grown will breathe. It will hold on to the pain long enough to learn what it's trying to teach. It will wear silence like armor, not to hide, but as a sign of sacred strength, because this isn't really about the other person. It's about your frequency, about what you decide not to carry anymore. It's about what no longer triggers you, what no longer pulls you off center. It's about who you are when you choose to respond from your highest self, beyond the reflex to react. The sky on August 21th isn't just about planets lining up. It's about timelines coming into alignment. Every conversation becomes a choice. Every emotional surge opens a door, and you, the chosen one, are being asked, which version of yourself will you bring into the next chapter? It's subtle, quiet, sacred, and easy to miss if you're not paying close attention. But you've been sensing it for days. The confusion, the emotional static, the feeling that something is shifting just beneath the surface. You're not imagining it. It really is changing. And now is your chance to respond differently. Not perfectly, but with awareness. Not passively, but with spiritual intention. Not loudly, but with deep calm. This isn't about silence for silence's sake. It's about finding a center that no one can shake, anchoring into a wisdom that only exists in stillness, and passing through the storm without letting it take root inside you. When you choose your center over your triggers, you're not just passing a test. You're stepping into a reality you were always meant for. When you feel this test not just in your body but deep in your bones, you'll know this isn't just another emotional moment. It's a moment of becoming, not louder or stronger or flashier, but more whole, clearer, unshakable. Because at some point, you stop fighting the world and start mastering your own energy. That's exactly what this moment, this Thursday, is calling you to do. It's not about performance or perfection. It's about presence, the kind of presence that says, I see the trigger, I feel the pull, but I'm done playing the old role. I see the bait, but I won't take it. I feel the pain, but I won't build a home in it. This is you remembering who you were before the world told you to prove yourself. This is you walking away, not out of defeat, but out of wisdom and discernment. This is you letting go, not to lose, but to make space. Spiritual maturity means knowing when to stop explaining yourself. It means trusting that what's truly meant for you will never ask you to shrink to fit in or to raise your voice just to be heard. That's the level you're stepping into now. You're no longer here to convince anyone. You're no longer available for old cycles. Emotional chaos won't be your guide anymore. You're walking with God now, moving with awareness, holding silence that speaks volumes, align in a way no energy can shake. You carry a vision that doesn't need outside approval to feel real. Those who can only hear you when you're loud, or who feel safe only when you over-explain, over-give, or over-sacrifice, they're not meant to walk with this new you. Let them gently fall away. Let it fade without drama. Let them think what they want. Your peace is too precious to waste proving your heart, because your heart already knows, your spirit already knows, and heaven has already marked the shift. August 21st isn't just a warning. It's preparation, a graduation, a spiritual filter separating noise from truth, the false from the aligned, reaction from realignment. So ask yourself honestly, who do I become when I stop defending myself? Who do I become when I stop responding to every voice except my own? Who do I become when I stop feeding the fires meant only to distract me from the light I carry? The answer to those questions is who you truly are. That version of you is coming, rising quietly, fully, and unapologetically. Once you become that version, there's no going back, only growth, embodiment, and full spiritual authority.